Hey, hey, I just want to say I saw the Odyssey today, and though, the some flaws, a bit of, modern attitudes, it was overall pretty good. And there is the whole thing that the whole flashback of the past of his sea journeys, which is what most people associate the Odyssey with. It's a recap, a flashback. It isn't actually part of the main plot of the actual story, which picks up after things have been static for years, and this gets that across, even if it spends too much time on that, which is hard because when people think Odyssey, they think island hopping, fighting monsters, which isn't what it's actually about. Which I think Christopher Nolan knows. Of course, years, but nothing really bothered me about the modern aspects. It's not strong enough to be called woke. It's basic, like things about war and Penelope being able to rule. That is so vanilla. Of course, one of the biggest modern thing is the whole PTSD thing and Matt Damon's acting was fine, but they wrote Odysseus wrong. Odysseus is a smart, cunning trickster and trickster who's charming and, well, seductive kind of, and cool and fun and, well, let's just say multiple women find him attractive. They sort of they sort of cut that out. Cersei is changed completely, and Calypso is sort of fused with the Lotus Eaters, and of course Nausicaa and her whole island are cut out completely. But there's one aspect of the modernization that absolutely works, because with the talk of the sea peoples and the revelation that the Greeks invading Troy actually were the sea peoples, and tying into the historic reality of the Bronze Age collapse, that's totally legitimate. That is absolutely what the story was always about. And Telemachus and people yearning for Odysseus to come back because things were falling apart is clearly a reflection of the Greek Dark Age for the decay which of civilization. I'm pretty sure I wrote a paper on that subject in college. It's good to see that Mr. Nolan agrees with me on that point. Of course, the ending. Well, of course, it is say in the poem that Odysseus was going to leave again, but he didn't go out to sea. In the poem, he was supposed to go so far inland that no one knew what the sea was, to appease Poseidon. And and of course, it is a little too humorized. His vision of Athena appears to be entirely in his own head, which is, even though monsters and Hades exist. But yeah, the PTSD thing, the anti-war thing is out of character, is doesn't fit because because Homer and the culture he was in thought acts of violence were cool. Usually, not that they were denied the tragedy of it, but you know, no. So the whole thing about Odysseus having all this guilt, which I understand comes from this infamous new translation that I've seen people arguing about. Anyway, so overall, like 7.5 out of 10. 10. Matt Damon, great performances all around. Having Helen and Clytemnestra Black is weird because they were actually the Spartan royalty. So having the Spartan royalty that Agamemnon and Menelaus had to marry into, marry into to become king of Sparta. Not that Lupita isn't beautiful enough, and I think the Odyssey is sort of a political thriller at heart, and the movie's best moments were when it felt like that. Anyway, Tom Holland was great, and Hathaway was great. I even thought E. Page was great.